Hello everyone, Cmeecraft here. Last episode we did some more Bianco Hills stuff, and you know what, let's get back to it. There's nothing wrong with that. The secret of the dirty lake. Probably pollution, I'd imagine. Oh, that is quite dirty. Yeah, whenever it zooms in on like a cave sort of deal, very ominous in my book. I don't know. Caves, they don't generally bode well for me in this game. But yeah, I will try to avoid prejudging it too harshly. Yeah, eventually I will be actually good at this whole log thing. Probably sometime after the Let's Play, so you're just gonna have to take my word on that. Okay, you're just gonna say, hey, you saved me, woo. Whoa, you saved me! Thanks a bundle! You know the Cliff Spring Cave on the far end of the lake? Some nasty ooze came spilling out of it with no warning at all. Now our beautiful lake is contaminated. It's so yucky. I bet it is, good sir. Don't worry, you've got Mario here to help you. Because cleaning up pollution, it's what I do, apparently. But yeah. It's fine, I'm Mr. Mario, I love the environment, and I will not stand for such pollution. I kind of want the blue coin, but on the other hand, like, I don't know, it just doesn't really seem worth it. Just all the work I would have to go through to actually get it in this case. So, I have to presume it's gonna be something to do with the lily pad. Well, we're on the lily pad, that's for sure. Okay. So we can move it by spraying. This kind of reminds me of a minigame from Mario Party 8. I suppose this is where they got the idea from. So this shouldn't be too difficult to drive, I imagine. We just kind of... Okay, so apparently the lily pads, they sink into the sea after a little while, so presumably you've got to... And I've got a hitchhiker now, so... And I didn't expect to have a hitchhiker, but... Yeah. I didn't expect 2020 to happen. I mean, obviously I expected the year to happen, but not how it happened. Anyways. All that is to say, you know, you can't decide what life throws at you, all you can decide is how you react. Yeah, so for example, if life, you know, puts you in a poisoned lake, you just swim up to a lily pad and die. That's what you do. Textbook, really. And some would say if life gives you a polluted lake, maybe throw a Brita filter at it. I say, just jump in. What's the worst that could happen? You die? Yeah. There'd at least be a news story about you. Local human. Cause, yeah. And statistically speaking, just looking at my analytics, you guys are like 90%, maybe 80% males, but, yeah. Just to keep everyone included, yeah. Local human dies swimming in known polluted lake. That was not a good order of those words. Lake known for its pollution. Anyways, we can probably subvert a bunch of the lily pad nonsense by just kind of walking up this way and seeing what the tower has to offer in this version of events. Although, yeah, one could argue that isn't actually a good idea because presumably there's going to be a bunch of lily pads in that cave. Also, presumably we're going to end up swimming in this lake again, which might not be the worst thing in the world if we can get onto the... Get up! What are you doing, Mario? Mario! You are in a poisoned lake! Get... Okay, so, what have we learned? Well, we've learned that a toxic lake is, not great for one's ability to get out of the lake. It's much like the Mafia. Once you get in, you can't get out. You think you're out, and then they pull you back in. It's the same thing with polluted lakes, as we all know from personal experience, I'm sure. What we do know, for sure, in addition to that, is that I will fall into this lake here, or river more like, but here's the thing though, what if I didn't? That's right. Look at that, so it's like a whole new world here. Speedrun tactics. As if I'm nowhere near good enough at this game to try anything even remotely close to a speedrun tactic. See? Anyways, what we are going to do here is same thing as last time, except we're going to do it decently this time. So we're not going to do anything inappropriate or untoward. We're just going to buy the book, get on those lily pads, and get in the mysterious hole thing. Honestly, I don't actually know how we're going to get in there per se. See, there's a lily pad right there. Why did we not use it before? Also, why do I not cast a shadow on it when I'm like a certain height up? I don't know. I don't know how that happened, but I am upset that it did, and now we're gonna die again because that's how we didn't die. Well, color me shocked. Okay, we must be very careful in landing on these logs. Okay, I don't know how this is going to work exactly, but here we go. Somehow it worked. It's one of these again? Okay. Figured it was probably something along these lines, but, well, we can do this. Hopefully. Okay, so before we rush into this, let's study this out. We've got to get past this obstacle to get the 1-up, which we would very much like. So the squares, they move side to side and they flip occasionally. So presumably we'd want to get like on the blue squares there, and then we'd get on the red squares there, and then we'd get on the blue squares about here. Okay. So we wait for blue squares to flip, then we go. Then we wait for red squares to flip, and then we go. Blue squares flip, we go. Red squares flip, and we go. And blue squares flip, and we go. And there we go. See, sometimes you just need to think the things through, and it all works out. I don't trust the square not to move in a weird way. I also don't trust me to actually be able to make this whole jump. Maybe with like a side flip followed by a dive, button of which is Y, I believe. Okay, well. Bad news, we didn't make the jump. Good news, we're not dead, at least, so. There's that. I don't think you can long jump in this game. What? Okay, so we can get on this platform here. Whoa, that was a spring! Okay. I mean, I'm not... Maybe it's a momentum thing. Like, we gotta, like, start over here, and we run on the star, and we do, like a double jump. That was not a double jump, even in the slightest. Okay, we've probably got to do, like, a triple jump or something to make this work. Okay. We're doing fine, though. We're doing great. Luckily, the game is merciful enough to not have, you know, absolute death right there. Okay, and there we go. That's a triple. All right. Oh, I told you this thing was gonna move. Didn't exactly predict it would move in this specific manner, though. I almost made it. And in some ways, that makes it sting a bit more. Yeah, I'm not sure if this game is harder than Super Mario Galaxy, or if that's just an illusion because I am worse at it. I'm not as familiar with it. Okay, we get on this, we wait for red, red flips, we get on the red, we wait for blue to flip, and we get on the blue, and we wait for red to flip, and we get on the red, we wait for the blues to flip, and we get on the blue, and we're done. We're out. We're good, we're clear, everything's hunky-dory. Alright, we do. That wasn't a double jump, and we need to do a double jump before we can do a triple jump, much like you need to learn to walk before you learn to run. That was just 3 regular jumps. That's not going to be doing the thing you wanted it to do, and that's certainly not going to do the thing you wanted it to do, because what you wanted it to do was not die. Which is the exact opposite of what happened. Alrighty, yeah. No need to get hasty, though. Remember the fundamentals. You get on the red, and, you know, you just walk off. Of course you do. That's just how it goes. And hopefully that's not a game over, but, you know, if we die again without getting the 1-up, that's still actually not a game over. Nope, never mind. It's going to be a game over if we die again without getting 1-up. Don't rush this. Do not be hasty. Don't rush it. You know what you need to do. You gotta wait here. You wait for the blue to flip, then you get on the blue. The red flips, you go on red. The blue flips, you get on blue. Red flips, you get on red. You know, this is like watching the news. Tons of flip-flopping. It's exactly what you want to see. Okay. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time getting those triple jumps working. Hopefully they're not like super important later in this level, but something tells me they probably will be. So I'm going to try doing this without jumping, and maybe that's the solution. It was indeed the solution. Okay, so next thing that's going to happen, well, I'm not too worried about the triangles. We're going to get on that cube. Presumably, it's going to start going up for like, sheesh, a long time. And it'll probably do that same like spinning thing, and we'll need to survive that, but you know, I'm sure all will be well. See, like I said, not worried about the triangles. We're gonna stick with the no jumping strategy, just because I think with a bit of extra friction, I think that'll do me well in this case. You know, you want to, it's like the old adage when you're rock climbing, you want at least 3 points of contact. Except, in this case, we just kind of want to make sure we keep 1 point of contact and not needlessly jump to our deaths. Okay. We're almost there. Almost at the end. We just gotta cross this section. Presumably, it's gonna be the same strategy as before. We just need to suss out the exact timing of it. So, it's tempting to go on that red, but then where do you go? Onto that blue. Okay. Then from that blue, you go to that red. Got it. Then from that red, you get onto this blue? Maybe? And then, where do you go? You go back onto the red, then back onto the blue, onto the other blue, onto the red, onto the blue. I don't know where you go from there. Maybe onto the red? That's a tight one, though. And then the red, you... Like, what even is the end game here? That last red, I guess? Okay, well. Hopefully we can just kind of wing this. Just remember, if it's flipped, you need to get onto the other one as soon as possible. Okay, red. So there's the blue. What? That is a long death. Okay, so I think we're onto something. I just shouldn't have panicked and canceled the clinging to the side of the ledge there. So we go here. We rushed it. Yeah, we rushed it. So that's inadvisable, to say the least. Okay, so we go on blue. Red flips, you go on the red. Then the blue flips and we go on the blue. The red flips and we find ourselves on the red. The blue flips and you know what, we're just going through. We get in here. We prematurely triple jumped. Yeah, but that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you do a side flip and another one. Despite seemingly not like at all even putting in the inputs to trigger such an action, but who am I to say? I'm not Miyamoto, I didn't make this game, maybe this is exactly how it was intended to work. Okay. Let's not die to the triangles, because that would be a shameful death. Okay, and now we're on this one. And again, I think the key with this square thing is actually, as scary as it looks, and as much as I want to believe in all my non-Euclidean geometry, that we shouldn't be able to stay as stable on this structure given the slopes as we are, that seems to actually be the approach. Okay, and now we're back. Okay, I like that. So it seems that the way this one differs a bit is at times you're definitely going to be called upon to cross some like double situations, I think. Okay. Okay. Now we gotta figure out like how we're making our way across this. I think it's gonna look something like that. And okay, safe probably should have gone with the safer option of just retreating to a blue, but I thought maybe we could go for gold there and be victorious. Evidently that was not the case. And I'm ashamed I ever tried such a thing. But I think we've got this one. In principle, I don't see this taking like any more time. Like we've got this. Like this is going to be the attempt. I've got a good feeling with this one. Yeah, side flipping, arguably unnecessary there. But you know, sometimes you just want to show off how extravagant you are. And sometimes you just want to visit that area. It had been a while. I wanted to say hello, catch up, talk about how things have been since we last met all the way back in the year 2021, which one might say is the current year, unless you're watching this in the future, in which case, hello. Remember 2021? Oh, what a year that was. See, I say this not knowing what most of 2021 even has in store, but you know what, I think I'm going to be right. So, here we go. So, and I'm glad I discovered the whole, like, not jumping thing. I mean, you'd think that would be pretty counterintuitive, a pretty counterintuitive tactic in a Mario game, but it works surprisingly well. Would recommend. Okay. So, remember, priority number 1, you might think it's getting to the shine, but it's not. Priority number 1 is actually staying alive, because you can't get to the shine if you're dead. I know, shocking. But it's true. It's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. There we go. Here, and let's not make the same mistake from last time. We're just going to get safe on this blue one, which will then allow us to get onto the red one, and hopefully get a whole lot closer to our goal. So, I know I was singing the praises of the not-a-jumping tactic. I would like to state, though, given my actions in the ensuing minutes may have stated otherwise, I would like to clarify that, in my opinion, the whole not-jumping strategy is specifically good on just those cubes, and not on the flipping platforms. Like I said, I do realize that my actions have, in some of your minds, probably contradicted my statement there, but I contend I was at least trying to press the jump button and just got the timing a bit wrong, which happens to me a lot in this game. I don't know why. I mean, I admit it's probably a me problem, but I just contend I'm trying. Okay, there we go. See, this is where the not jumping strategy is actually intentional, because it actually works, somehow. Even though, visually, just some of those transitions doesn't seem like it should be working, but I'm not going to argue with the results. These triangles, if you die in the triangles, you don't have a pulse. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. Alright, and now we focus here. I kind of feel like this one might be easier, but that might just be because I haven't died on it. Because I actually knew what the strategy to beat it was when I first approached it. Alright, so, what did we learn from last time? Well, we learned that we need to jump. Now, some of you may, So what did we learn this time? We learned not to rush it. Yeah, it's a common trap you get into. You play the video game, you fail at the video game, you think, man, I've got to save all of my time investment and be really efficient through the rest of this, but that's a trap. You don't need to be really efficient. In fact, you need to be super inefficient, because if you try to be really efficient, then stuff like that happens. And honestly, you just need to take it slow, take it steady, win that race. You don't need to be taking naps. Which, granted, I mean, I wasn't doing, but, I mean, that's what happens in the story I was referencing. And I've heard many a snarky person say that the lesson in The Tortoise and the Hare isn't, actually, slow and steady wins the race, it's, those who don't sleep win the race. Which, honestly, that's probably not teaching a great, moral either. I mean, sometimes a good night's rest is exactly what you need to, work at peak performance. So, yeah, moral of the story, Insomniacs win the race. And I'm not talking about the game publishing. Is it a publisher or developer? Honestly, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking developer, but I don't know, like I said. I've got... Well, that was just a comedy of errors, except it wasn't really funny, at least not to me. Who knows, maybe y'all were slapping your knees at how hilarious it was, but... Not me. Not I, said Cmeecraft. And what does this come to? I'm just, talking about old folktales now. Just flinging myself off a cliff! I think this will be a one-shine episode. If it's a shine episode at all, that is. So for those of you confused as to why I would just run off the edge of the platform like that, believe me, you're not alone. I'm confused too. Like, again, I assume it's my fault, but I honestly don't know how the inputs I put in there ended with that result. Again, probably my fault. Although sometimes physics in this game are a bit weird, so could also be the physics. And I guess by definition the physics are at least partially to blame whenever I die, because if there wasn't, gravity, then I wouldn't be able to fall to my death. But, probably arguing in bad faith to blame the physics working as intended for a death, even if, I mean, it's not technically wrong. It's not technically right either, I'd say. Okay. We're gonna do it this time. I've got a real good feeling. Like, we're here, we just gotta do this part successfully. And we're just gonna sit here, wait a second, look at what we're about to be facing off against, squaring off against. I mean, I'm trying to think of when we want to approach this. We're going to want to approach after the red is flipped with a blue, fairly close by, so we can, get on it at some point. We can get on this one, for example. And then we get on this red. We get back on the blue. And we get on this red. Then we get on this blue. We're like, we're an independent voter. Going between red and blue. Just flip-flopping. One side 1 year. One side the other. And... there we go. And it worked. We don't know what that is. Who knows? But it turns out it was a shine. Well then. It went better than the last one of those we tried, at least. And I mean, that's something. And it looks like something's happening here, but that something is going to happen next episode. Until then, I've been Cmeecraft, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Goodbye.